Here we are. Well, we aren't a submarine crew. We are in tight quarters and isolation for a year now, with much more to come ahead that remains as of yet unknown. We can only hope that we're at the 3-quarter mark, and that with vigilance and care, social distancing, masking, even while we have vaccines in distribution, and especially in distribution, people who have vaccines taking that kind of love in public to care for every life among us is a tall order and a big task. I'm grateful to congregants who have shared with me their tender moments, heartbreaking losses, lessons learned, good humor, and their hope for what is to come ahead. May their sharing bring our hearts a sense of hope, solace, and connection as we bear difficulty. May those be lightened in the sharing. And may we grow closer, though physically distant, looking back to look forward.
All right. What was the moment you realized the pandemic was changing life as we know it?
I can't tell you a specific moment, but I'd say maybe a week in, I heard people using the word when we return to normal. And I thought, there's not going to be a normal again. I mean, it's going to be different, and we do not know when.
It was about work. We made the decision to send everybody to start working remotely. And I think we did it on a Wednesday.
And I think when I realized that I had to place a lot of consideration into jumping on the plane and traveling and going to see family. There were a couple of events that took my mom turned 80. I didn't go. My eldest niece, got married. I didn't go. She had a baby. I didn't go. Right? So this is real.
Well, I think when we learned that we had to stay inside and not be in contact with other people.
The moment when we were all told that we have to stay home.
When school closed, as you know, I work at the lab school, and the decision.
It was around this time last year, around March. We heard about it in February, basically. And when I heard words like quarantine, work from home, remotely, children go to school remotely, business is closing down, wear masks, use hand sanitizers, wash your hands, socially distance. And when the numbers of infections started going up exponentially, and when the numbers of death started going up exponentially, then I realized this has changed our lives forever.
And the thing that kind of struck me was that I thought to myself, because of your age, you will never see normal times again.
Oh, sure.
And I think
over the course of this last year, what has been the most difficult thing for you?
At the beginning of the start of the regular church year, I was surprised at the level of emotional impact not coming back in person to church had.
There's living alone during the pandemic, because I've been thinking I don't want to live alone anyway.
For sure.
I mean,
I make Elijah take a nap, even if he's not going to sleep. I mean, he's 5 years old. He's not going to take a nap. But I say, but mommy needs alone time. So that means you need to go to your room for 2 hours and relax, read a book, meditate, look at your ceiling. I don't care. But, I don't care that you're not sleepy. I don't care that you don't go to sleep. But mommy need mommy time.
Absolutely.
I think isolation, to some extent, lack of contact with friends and relatives and activities.
And then when you see the rate of depression in people and children specifically, because they couldn't process this, we all had to process it together. We had to explain something to them that we didn't even understand.
Yeah.
And watch the impact, you know, on our son.
Has been not being with the congregation. I'm having this experience as an intern, and it's an experience that I'm only gonna have once, right? And
but I still miss the sensation of being in that holy space, surrounded by a community of people. There's a focus there that really invokes a reverence and a humility and a sense of being together, and that you can't get on the internet. As wonderful as the services are, you know,
was not seeing my kids and my grandkids and constantly worrying about getting infected with this disease and bringing it home. So the most difficult thing.
So I'm a therapist, and so there's a whole other layer of trauma, like kind of holding everybody's trauma, like as well as being in the middle of it. So sometimes I do feel like I'm in the middle of the ocean, kind of just barely treading water, and then I'm like, okay, like sure, more people can jump on top of my little life raft. Like, sure, come on over with my work.
Easy.
But
That was losing my mom to the virus. She had been unwell for many years, and I was prepared for her death. I didn't want her to suffer any longer, but having her die from COVID meant that I couldn't see her for the last 8 months of her life. Sadness, and I may just carry that for a long time.
How have you adapted?
How have I adapt? I think I'm still adapting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have.
Well, first of all, I had to. The stakes are way too high. So I've adapted. I mean, wearing my mask, washing my hands, being socially distanced.
And very quickly, I started to adapt. I noticed, you know, that
however, I've learned to order groceries online. That has been a great big learning, and I will keep that learning.
The whole family has learned how to Zoom. So yeah, we were very adept at it now. And we've set up a family group on Google, and we set up a family get together every month, the extended family that is. And I set up a family archive of photos and genealogical items.
I've kept in touch with people by phone and by email, but I think that I would really be lost without Zoom, because that's been a very important thing.
Learning how to use Zoom and teach over Zoom and also be social over Zoom.
The kids have liked Zoom church and Zoom school, so that's been strange. And like, I didn't really know that they would like that, but they do. And
what has gotten you through this year?
Like reaching out and connections.
Keeping busy, trying to keep busy. Even though I have a mile-long to-do list that literally has not changed since March of 2020. The list is
giving myself the grace and giving myself, you know, the compassion that not every day is going to be a good day, and sometimes those days, you know, it's going to be a macaroni and cheese for dinner kind of day.
A variety, music, flowers, food that I like.
Telling myself that it's okay to feel sad because it's a freaking pandemic. No, I mean
that helped me get through. Pixel got me through. Yes, yes. Since I've had him, he's just been wonderful. I'm so thankful to you. This morning he just went up to the bookcase and started taking books off the shelf and dumping them on the ground. mean, literally, he takes his paw to the top of the book and pulls it down. And it goes on the floor, and then he goes to the next book, onto the floor.
I guess that's how he's coping.
Yeah, right. That's how he's coping.
Thank you. And while we don't know what society will look like post-pandemic, what do you hope for in whatever that new normal is? What do you look forward to the most?
I think getting together with friends in person and also going to concerts and plays and movies and of course in-person church services and church activities.
I look forward to being back with the choir and to having some return to so-called normalcy. What can we do in the sanctuary? When can we do it? These are the questions I have. But when that day comes, the ability to hear the congregations and choirs' voices joining together in song with the organ or the piano, I look forward to that so much.
Go to church and sing like we used to do. That I look forward to that.
I'm looking forward to getting back into church. That's it's seeing everyone and real coffee hours and kids running around, right?
I need a hug from somebody and somebody just lean on me, put their head on my shoulder, something, because this is
hugs.
Hugging.
Yeah.
I look forward to hugging.
Do it is like when I give hugs to people, giving really good hugs.
I'm more discriminating about how I spend my time and with whom I spend my time and what I spend my time doing. Yeah. I can curate my life in a different way now.
To the grocery store.
Just normal life.
Back to normal. I don't want to go back to normal. We've all grown. We've all changed. I want to go back to, I don't even want to go back. I want to go forward to a new way of being with each other. That's what I really want.